new to lives. I just kicked the camera and we're trying to figure this out. And I have a grumpy, filthy baby. We had sloppy joes for dinner and he made a mess. So
He's wearing them.
we're going to wait for people to come around because right now nobody's on. But I'm going to talk to the camera because this is going to be put up tomorrow on my channel. And it's going to look weird if I just sit here watching for people to come on. But this guy is going to go off with daddy in a minute. His shirt is all. We had a busy day. Busy, crazy day, right? We got projects done. Did we get projects done? Did we go vote? And then when we voted, I got a sticker, right? And what'd you do with the sticker? You put it on my neck. Where else did you put it? On my nose. Where else? Where else? On my eye. Yep, you did. Did you put it on my ear too? Oh, my mouth. You put it on my mouth? You're so silly. Yeah, he put it everywhere. So, hello, Erica. Thank you for joining us. Can you say hi to Erica? And excuse the stuffy nose. We have some major allergies going on here. And I talked to someone else, a family friend the other day, and they're dealing with major allergies too. So, what? You gonna say hi? Can you say hello to Dana in Indiana? Is it really hot there today? Today was like 78 here, which for us is really hot. And we put up our pool today. We have a 4 foot above ground pool. And you're saying hi to Melissa. Hi, Melissa. Thanks for joining us today. Are you being so sweet? Um, Hi, Naomi from the living room. Naomi said hi. She's over there. What um
Oh, I should
I
look.
have never lived in Illinois, but I did live in Ohio when I was a kid, and I went to visit Ohio for 2 weeks every summer once we moved to Maine. And Ohio had really humid weather. We, on the piece of property that we live on, we have a really nice breeze most days. So it doesn't get like super hot here. And being near the ocean, we have warmer weather in the winter, so we get less snow, and cooler weather in the summer. So my sister lives 2 hours north of us, like inland, and we can be 78 and she can be 92 on the same day. I don't know what her temperature was today. Um, oh, hello from Illinois. What is super hot for you? When you say super hot, what does that mean to you guys? Because in Maine, we don't get a whole lot of days above 90. That's like crazy hot and we don't know what to do. In Maine, most people don't have air conditioning. Even a lot of like stores and stuff don't have air conditioning. We have one window unit, and so we'll put that here in our bedroom and we just hide for the hot days, but it's only a handful of days throughout the summer. So, hi from Boston. Oh, I didn't know that's where you were from. Very good. Hi. Someone else said hi. Hi, Sally. Um, Idaho, chilly and stormy. Do you guys get a lot of rain in Idaho? Is it really dry out there? I don't know much about Idaho because I've never been there. Ooh, tornado warnings. Those are no fun. We have been through a couple tornado warnings. Um, we were with tornado warnings with Virginia when we were in Tennessee with them a couple years ago, and we had to hide in this like room. It wasn't the best. We were not. We were hoping a tornado wouldn't come. I mean, I think you're always hoping a tornado wouldn't come, but we were really hoping. 90 and humid. Yeah, the humidity and 80s and 90s with high humidity. Humidity is gross. We do not have the humidity here that people have like in the Midwest because it's like sticky, sticky gross. Hi, everybody. Oh, yes, we have some guinea pigs. They usually don't make much noise. We've been told that guinea pigs are very, very loud. And ours are not unless you try to get a snack and open a bag and they think you're feeding them and they squeak like crazy. But like in the middle of the night, you never hear them. You mostly don't hear them unless you open a bag of stuff. Um, oh, Thank you for joining us from the UK. I am planning on doing a live for our friends on the other side of the world. I'm just not exactly sure when that's going to be. Our next 2 weeks are really busy just with doctor's appointments and stuff. And you guys can all be praying for Samuel because he takes his driver's test tomorrow. So if you're watching this later, that's Wednesday. He's going to be taking the test. But yeah, you can be praying for him. So hi, Billy. Um, Hi, Lorna. We are doing well. We've had a busy day. So, hi, if I missed saying hi to you. Hi, Susan. Hey, Maddie, it's good to have you here. And yeah, humidity is no fun. Yeah, thanks for showing up, Maddie. I was hoping that you'd be able to be here today. Um, some of these people I don't know what they're exactly talking about, so I'm going to ignore those ones. Thank you for praying for Samuel. Samuel is taking his driving test in our big van that has the dually tires, and he can park that thing really great. He did parallel parking today after we voted, and he did a great job with it. And so it's just that he doesn't get too nervous about it. But he um he knows all the things he needs to know. It's just not getting too nervous. But he is doing a good job. Um, Someone asked how we were. We're good. It's been a busy week. Um, I don't even so we're doing a online summer camp type thing where the kids can watch a bunch of different lessons. So they're learning things like we watched What About Home Buying, and it tells you all the different things like what a mortgage is, what your principal is, what insurance is, and it just gave you kind of basics of all of that. We've watched ones about cooking, we've watched ones about using tools. The kids watched a bunch today without me, like I kind of heard what was going on, but Mark and I were having a conversation about something else. But the kids have been really enjoying that, and it just gives a lot of introductory stuff. So like one of the classes today was on crocheting. I do know how to crochet, but I don't, it's hard on my hands. But the um class today had crocheting, and so Naomi and Abigail have been crocheting this afternoon. Hey, thanks for putting me on notifications, Monty. I probably should do that when you do lives, but I don't know how to do that. For everybody to know, Maudie, which is Castleberry Branch on here, I think she's trying to go live tomorrow night. Correct me if I'm wrong, Maudie, but go check her out. And Maudie and I are going to be doing a live together as soon as we hit 4,000 people. So I'm at 9,329 or something like that, and she's probably got more than that. um Hey, Dixon, happy birthday. A happy birthday to you, a happy birthday to you. Every day of the year, may you find Jesus near. A happy birthday to you, a happy birthday to you. The best one you ever had. I hope you have a great birthday. Um, yeah, humid is gross. So, hello, Virginia. If you guys see this one that says Waylon Schrock, that's my daughter, Virginia, is on her husband's account. So it's good to see you. Roughly at the bottom of the Idaho Panhandle, our property can get pretty windy. Summers are typically 90s, known to get to 100. Thankfully, we have a green around us. Very cool. Okay, and Maudie is doing one tomorrow, 7 Central, watching this time. It's 8 o'clock my time, Eastern time. It'll be 7 Central tomorrow for her. Hi, Sweet Pea. And Daddy is being silly. Um, Oh, you like that birthday song? I actually knew it. I don't even know how I actually knew that song, but then I was told that someone had learned it at a Methodist church. I didn't learn it from the Methodist church. Yay, Maudie. Congratulations on all your numbers. Um, so our day has been busy. We went to vote today. So we did Bible study this morning. Then there was a little change in plans because we had a friend who was coming to buy a loaf of bread from Abigail, which she baked yesterday. But we thought she was coming a little earlier. She had an appointment, so it worked out totally fine. But we were going to vote, and then we changed our plans. So we did Bible. We stayed and hung out with the friend, which was really fun to catch up with her. Every time I get together with her, she's such an encouragement. She's just one of those people who you can't get away from her without feeling encouraged. And she's got some teenagers too. And so we were talking about teenagers needing to get out there and serve in our communities. That's what we were talking about today. So she came over, we visited for a while, and then she went on her way. We ate our lunch, which Naomi is in charge of making lunch right now, so that in the mornings, usually between Bible time and lunch, I work on school with kids. But because we had that friend here, we were outside. And then we went and voted, which I took all the kids in and showed them what voting looks like. And we got to see our neighbor because our neighbor that lives across the street here always works at the polls. The past couple years, she had hurt her arm and wasn't at the polls a couple years ago, but it was good to see her again just because we don't usually catch her outside. And then we came home and helped grandma put up the pool. So we have a 4 foot above ground pool that we put up every year. It's my mom. So if you haven't been here before, my mom lives in a house in the backyard. She loves her pool. And so we get to use her pool. I probably wouldn't have one. Well, I wouldn't have one if we didn't rent from her, but because she wants a pool, we help her with the pool. So we put the pool up and started filling it. So it's about half full of water. Um, and so, yeah, we did that. Then we came in and the kids watched some of those shows I was just talking about, the classes, while Mark and I talked. We're just trying to figure out what Samuel's senior year is going to look like. I will post when we finally figure that out, but we don't know yet. And then um, Mark and Samuel worked on getting our front porch multiple years ago. Virginia, who's on here, and Naomi, and our friend who had a daughter their age, her name's Helen. Helen had come over for the day and Mark helped them to build the front porch, which is a big, um, like one porch with then a step off, one long step off. And it had settled and the step had like gone wonky. So it was hard for me to get on because I wear braces. So my ankle doesn't bend right. And it was just hard for me to use those steps. So they jacked the whole thing up today and put things under it. So we were out there visiting with them and stuff. And then I made supper with Naomi's help because I had Gideon wasn't feeling great. So I was dealing with them. And then we came inside and had supper. We usually go on a walk after supper. So we went and walked the driveway for a while and we also checked the garden and watered it and all that good stuff. And then we came in and watched one more of the classes. Usually we're reading a book, and the book we're reading right now is A Man Called Peter, which is really good. But we took a break tonight. Okay, I'm going back to, okay, how was your day? I think I answered that. Please like this live. Thank you, Sally. That would be very helpful. When is Virginia going to post again? She is busy raising a family right now, and so she will post. Did she answer that? Is that what you said? Oh, she's posted down there. Sorry. Yes, life's been busy for her in a good way. And yes, they have a large garden and a puppy who they're trying to train. He's doing really well, but he's a puppy. Um, yes. Thanks, Melissa, for understanding because it can get crazy. And Daddy, there is a message held for review if you want to see what that message is. What do we have for dinner? For dinner, we just did something easy. I found some pork that I had gotten at Walmart. And so we cooked up the pork with an onion and then I added seasonings to make it like sloppy Joe flavor. We used one of Abigail's loaves of bread that she had made and toasted it. And so we had like sloppy joes on open face sandwiches. We finished off some leftover pasta salad that I had made for a church picnic on Sunday and cooked up some broccoli with cheese on top. Nice and easy. I'm actually making a grocery list because we are supposed to have friends visiting on Thursday and then for like lunch and supper, and then other friends visiting for supper on Friday. So I need to make a grocery list because there's a couple things I'm out of. We usually shop on Friday, but I kind of forgot we were hosting. The family that's coming on Thursday has 7 kids. So it's not like just throwing a little more water in the soup. I actually have to like get potatoes and carrots to throw in the soup. We're not having soup, but does our family have an air fryer? Yes, but I don't. So we were given an air fryer by our friend Mama Bear Many. Um, but she didn't use it much because for her family it just didn't work because of size, and it's the same for us. So if one of us wants to make like a single serving of french fries, it works great. But if we want to make french fries for everybody, it ends up there's other ways that are easier to make them. So I do think air fryers are great. My mom has one and being a single woman, it helps. So, Mark, if that gets back up there and I don't see it, please let me know. Oh, thank you for um the great job organizing the kitchen. Abigail worked with me. I can see if I can see it here, but I don't even know what that means. View message. Oh, okay. I don't know why that message was held for review. I just wanted him to deal with it because I thought it might be long. It says, I love kids, one of my favorite things, by one of the people who's commenting on here, Sweet Pea, who is being very kind and everything. So I don't know why that got held for review. Sorry, Sweet Pea. Um, so yeah, thank you for the organizing thing. Abigail had been wanting to do it, and I really wanted all my baking things in one section because we like to bake. I don't know if you guys can see my kid out the window. Samuel's out there holding Elisha, hiding behind a bush. Funny kids. And Abigail really wanted to help me because Abigail's been doing um a home ec curriculum program that Virginia and Naomi also did, and it talks about having like a baking cupboard. And so she was very excited when I said we're gonna do a baking cupboard. So okay, so Maudie, you don't have an air fryer either. I have an air fryer. It's in my basement. That's where it lives. It never comes upstairs. Um, Hi Joan. Joan, where are you from? I might be supposed to know that, but I don't. Um, yeah, Virginia does have a air fryer, but there's not very many of them yet. When the boys get bigger, you might not be able to cook what you want in the air fryer. So, how's everyone's gardens doing? Here in Maine, um, we have we have peas and we have onions and we have squash. Yeah, it's not it's Maine. So we didn't plant until the very end of May, so it hasn't had very long to grow. Um oh, the flowers outside are rhododendrons, and yes, they are very, very beautiful. We have two of them. So there's one in front of this window, which is our bedroom window. And then in front of our living room window, we have another rhododendron. My mom loves them. She put those in. This front garden is my mom's garden, but we get to enjoy it because she lives in the house back there now. How are the kids? The kids are all doing well. So we are we're doing different stuff for school this week, but we do school all summer long. So school's going to look different starting next week. And I'm not exactly sure what that's going to look like for everybody. Samuel is going to be getting his assignments for his senior year. In Maine, they can graduate at 17. Well, at Maine, they can graduate whenever they've finished their curriculum, but I don't know exactly what that means in the state of Maine to like prove for them to graduate early. I don't want to have to like go to somebody to make sure that done I'm doing what I need to do every year. I go with a state certified teacher. I just don't know the extra work of graduating them before 17. In the state of Maine, you can stop schooling them at 17. So for us, we graduate them at 17 or as close to 17 as they finish their work. So someone is mad at someone. Yeah. Um, but the he's gonna get a list. So it is June. There's a couple things that are going to give needed breaks this summer because we're going to like a family camp in July and that type of stuff. But Samuel's going to get a list, and when he finishes that list, he will graduate. I might add a book or two throughout this year, but like for the actual curriculum he needs to do, he's going to get a list and he can work on that as he wants. So, whatever I give him for math, if he wants to work really hard and finish that in a 3 month period, he can do that. That's his choice. And he's going to have more freedom on if he wants to like really dive into something deep for 1 week or if he wants to. You need to play on the floor. He's got rice over here. Go play over there, okay? You can play on the floor with it. I just don't want him to drop the whole bucket. But he's gonna get a list, and so when he finishes, he'll be done. But if he wants to really deep dive into a book he's really enjoying and he wants to read the book and then do whatever activity he needs to, he could do that in 1 week and skip math for the week. He's getting to be older, and you need to let your older kids make choices so they know how to use their time well. Sorry, I'm like sitting on my foot and it's bothering me. Okay. Um, okay, zone 7A here, garden just getting going. I use my air fryer as a dehydrator to make garlic powder and ginger powder. I've never heard of that. I actually have a dehydrator. It's like not a fancy one. But I have a dehydrator, but I've never made garlic powder or ginger powder. We've used it to make like dried apples or apple leather. Um, we've used it to like dry Swiss chard. We were given a bunch of Swiss chard one year and we dried a whole bunch and put it in the freezer to like add to soups and stuff.
What's something else we should try?
Yeah, what are other things we should dry that would be helpful because we do have a dehydrator. We have black raspberry canes in our small backyard. That's cool. We have blackberries that were the flowers just started blooming. Like I just noticed the flowers today. I'd seen the buds before, but I just noticed the flowers today. But there's going to be a lot of blackberries this year, which is really exciting. Or If if all the flowers make blackberries, there'll be a lot. Garden is doing great. We have had a good bit of rain lately, so everything was growing quickly. That's good. We had to water today because we haven't had water. We haven't had water. We haven't had rain since Sunday, and we still have little tiny sprouts. What's the home ec program? Um, Naomi, can you get me one of the home ec books? The like paper. They're over there somewhere. Western New York. Oh, thank you for coming over from Mama Bear. Okay, this is the home ec curriculum we use. It might be backwards. Guess I'm going to be backwards on there. So this is home economics from Christian Light Education, and it's backwards. Sorry, I'll try to fix that for next time. Um, but it's called light units, and so there's I think 12 for the school year, and then there's a second like a one that I think is 6 for the school year, but it goes on a bunch of different stuff. This one is he dropped that bucket right under my feet. Introduction to the kitchen is the first one, but then it has nutrition and food preparation, food shopping and kitchen organization, meal planning, preparation and presentation. Then it changes over to a getting ready to sew, sewing for your home and sewing for yourself. And then there's one about godly homekeeping, child growth and development, and growing into godly womanhood. We do not use this exactly as it is listed. It's going to be hard to see because it's backwards, but you start a new section and then it tells you how to prepare for the work and it gives you a recipe. Like in this one, there's a recipe to do, and then it has like questions about what you just did. Um, and like in a self-evaluation and stuff. If you want to use it that way, that's great. That's not how we use it. A lot of times the girls will just read through these because they're interested in what it has to say, but I don't use it as like, here's your work, hand me your paper and I'll check it. Virginia did use it that way. Virginia was an odd one for my children because she liked to like elaborately fill out every workbook, and if it asks for like 5 sentences, she'd give 10 sentences. Like he was just Virginia was different. I love you, Virginia. So the home ec, I'm from Western New York. Okay, read that one. What does Samuel want to do once he graduates? Samuel, what do you want to do once you graduate? He's right here.
Get a job, probably.
Baby. Get the driver's
Yeah.
license first.
I'm going for my license test tomorrow, and then after that in school, I'm planning on getting a job.
Yeah. So Samuel does not know exactly what he wants to do with his future, but he really likes helping people. So he's looking into lots of different things he could do. Are you waving at Samuel on the they have me on the other screen and so he sees me. He's focusing because how Maine works, what Samuel needs right now. We're having Samuel focus really hard on finishing school this year instead of getting a part-time job and trying to spread his time. We want him to get really good school and then be able to go and work full-time somewhere. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so that's the program. Our garden is slowly starting to produce. I'd love to plant fruit trees. Monty, your garden is so overproducing mine because my plates are like this big. Hi, Rita. Oh yeah, so if you like the home ec program is really good. Like I said, we don't do all the lines. Like we don't do every page of it exactly as it says. We use it as a spine for what the kids are wanting to learn. So do you ever have pineapple on pizza? No, I've eaten pineapple on pizza. I would eat it if it was offered to me by somebody, but if I'm ordering pizza or making my own, I would not choose pineapple as a topping. But if it was on like a buffet, I would eat pineapple pizza. What, Mark?
No,
Okay.
I like that. Okay.
I thought he was trying to tell me something.
I'm
Yeah.
with the question.
I don't agree with Soli Deo Gloria. That's my friend Alex. We have used some of the Christian Light before. I don't use curriculum exactly as curriculum is set up to be careful. You showing them the picture behind me? Thank you. Yeah. I don't use it exactly as it's set up. So we use it to find the things that we want to learn about. We read about it and we do the projects, but I don't make them write everything out. And different people are different. We just don't do a whole lot of writing. We do a lot more oral. Hey, Sweet Pea, thanks for finding me on Monty's channel. Cool. Do many from the UK follow?
About 1 in 28 people that follow you.
Mark looked up 1 in 28 people. 3.6% of people from the UK follow me. So there you go. Mark's the numbers guy. I love you, Virginia, even if you're odd. And so, oh, he says thank you for that.
No, I said amen to the Virginia's odd.
Oh, sorry. I thought he's looking on the screen and I thought he saw the comment, I'm excited for your future, Samuel. So I thought he was saying amen to that. But no, he was saying amen to his big sister is odd. Yes, please pray for Mama Bear. I have been talking to her today. I don't want to overshare, but little Azariah isn't feeling good. So just pray that they would know what he needs. Yes, please like the life. Very good. Justice is bringing chips with pineapple dip. Okay, yes, pineapple dip is different than pineapple on pizza. Um, no, I'll go back to the pineapple dip in just a second. Samuel is not planning college. Samuel is much more of a doer. So he wants to read the chapter in the book and go do. He doesn't understand why we do 4 years of college before we go do. And I know that's not exactly what college is, but he wants to actually just go do the stuff. And so college is not for him. We're starting to look into ways for him to be like apprentice, that type of thing, because that's what he would really do well on. Hey, thanks for finding me on Mama Bear. Okay, pineapple dip. So pineapple dip is like 12 to 16 ounces. It's not exact measurements. So you do what feels right. 12 to 16 ounces of crushed pineapple. So we open the can and I drain the juice into a cup for the kids to drink. So like a 20-ounce can, I drain it into a cup for the kids to drink and I give all the kids a little tiny bite and then we use the rest because I don't need the whole can. I actually usually pour most of the can into the pan and then give them the bites. I don't let them eat it out of the can before I make it. And then you add a block of cream cheese. You add a quarter cup of brown sugar, but you can choose the sweetness. We have had people who make it sweeter than that. And then you add about a tablespoon of jalapenos and you melt that all on the stove till it's all melty and good together. And then I think it's usually supposed to be served cold, but we eat it while it's still in the pan. And this pineapple dip grew on me. We got this from our friend Pamela. She's the sweetest thing. And she was like, here, you need to try the pineapple dip. Are you bringing me my cup, babe? Thank you. Um, she was like, you need to try this pineapple dip. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so she handed me a chip with pineapple dip. And I was like, I don't really like that. And then I kept getting drawn back to eat more pineapple dip and more pineapple dip. And it's really good. And I make it a lot now. And everybody who's tried it, like if they like those ingredients, they like the pineapple dip. I haven't found anybody. And then I found people who don't necessarily like the ingredients. They don't think it sounds good together, who still like it. But like if someone doesn't like pineapple, they might not like it. So, yes, we really like the pineapple dip. It's our go-to if I'm supposed to like take something to go with a meal. Not like a side dish necessarily, but like if we're going to like a potluck or something, people really like it if we bring that. Or we'll make it if we're doing like a night of appetizers at home for a special dinner or something. We make it. So we really like it, and Virginia's family really likes it. I'm wondering if Justice is eating any of the pineapple dip or if he's just bringing it to you. Um, yeah, pray for Azariah. Yeah, Christian Light and Rod and Staff can be very hard for depending on your learning style. If you have a child who needs to be more hands-on, the home ec program is really great because it has projects to do. So you're just learning, reading something, doing a project, reading something, doing a project. But if you have a child who needs more hands-on, their math and their English are more challenging. But again, you have to say what works for your children. Um, why are you dressed like an Algerian, Mom? I'm dressed in a shirt that I was given by somebody that goes well with the red skirt that I'm wearing. So that's why I'm dressed this way. I have a bunch of different clothes. I also have t-shirts that have words on them. So depends what day you catch me.
Which would be backwards.
Yeah, they would be backwards if I had it on. Um, yes, for children that different children have different problems. What? You want mommy?
Mommy.
Why do you need mommy? Are you hungry?
Mommy.
Are you hungry? Would you like a string cheese? Yeah, go ask Samuel to get you a string piece.
Hey, buddy.
Um, yeah. Samuel would love to just read and watch documentaries all day. And he really keeps the stuff, I don't know how to assimilates the stuff into his brain that he is reading because he will give us random facts. We watched this one guy on YouTube that had like here's 20 English words that nobody knows type thing. And the word was petard. Was
Oh,
that
yeah.
the word? The word was petard. And Naomi and I are like, what is a petard? Samuel, what is a petard?
It's an early hand grenade.
It's an early hand grenade.
The 18th century.
And he learned it because he read G.A. Henty books.
Actually, that's backyard ballistics.
Oh, okay, sorry, not G.A. Henty. He learns a lot from G.A. Henty books, but he loves history and he reads all the books. And it was funny because I took the kids to a history thing on Saturday. We went to an old house. Here in Maine, we have old houses because our first, we actually have a place that was established before Jamestown here in Maine. And so we've got some old stuff. And so we have a house right down the street from our church that is from 1756. Was that the year? 1754. We went there the other day. We had never been inside. We had been at an archaeology dig there a couple years ago. And it was funny because the lady would be like, "So, who can guess what this thing is?" And my kids would tell her exactly what it was and how it was used. So it was kind of funny. We didn't know everything, but there was a lot of things that she thought the kids would have no idea what it was. And we did. Yeah, Hawk and Mary, I'm glad you were able to join us. Thanks, Amy, for liking my shirt. I don't know where I got it. Sometimes I get random clothes from like my aunt just gave me a whole bunch of clothes. So if you see any new shirts in the near future, my aunt just handed me a bunch of new clothes and my daughter enabled me a bunch of new clothes. So any new things you see are probably from her, unless you see hoisted by your own petard. Yes, exactly. That was in the book. He knows exactly what you're talking about. Um, so we had shirts given to us. So anyway, was I going to say something about? Oh yeah, the kids knowing all the stuff about different things. But it was really cool to see the house that was from 1754 and to think this was before the Revolutionary War and they had it set up like the kitchen work area. So they had like the um spinning wheel and they had like what the table would have been set with and what clothes they would have been wearing. Okay, so this was a book. This was the book he found it from, and again, it's going to be backwards. But this book is called Backyard Ballistics, and it teaches you how to make like a potato cannon and stuff. And so this was the chapter, Newton's petard. So, thank you, Samuel. Hello from Canada. We have friends from Canada. Some of their kids were actually they're from here, but some of the kids were born in Canada, so they're dual citizens, which is cool. Um, yes, I'm glad you can catch the live. Do you like smoothies? It depends. I go back and forth on whether I like yogurt or not. It has to have the right things in it. My kids love yogurt. I'll eat yogurt with granola, but I don't like yogurt plain. So the right smoothie. What is your favorite smoothie? Tell me your favorite combo. Today, because it was hot out, we were out helping put the pool up. And so I put 2 ice trays of ice into my Vitamix. We got a refurbished Vitamix from somebody like years ago, and it's still a workhorse. And it had already been used before we got it. So I put the 2 things of ice cubes in there, and then I added 1 can of like grape juice concentrate, frozen, and then 2 cans of water. And I blended it all up in the Vitamix. So it was like a grape icy, and the kids loved it. And it was hot today, so it was really good. Um, thanks, Maudie. Yeah, my shirt. I guess it's just different people have different taste. My son does the same. I was worried I wasn't doing enough, but he retains everything when learning how he wants to learn rather than bookwork. Yes, I think we are all made to learn differently. And we need to, as homeschool moms, we need to find out how do our kids learn and how can we best use their gifts so that they can learn the things they need to. And then see what their weaknesses are and help them to learn with those, not to frustrate them with those. Because I think sometimes we forget that God has molded our child to be exactly what he wants them to be, and he's going to get them to the place that he wants them to be. And so if your child does not love math, I still think that you should teach them math. But I'm going to teach math differently and at a different pace to a child who doesn't understand and love math than a child who does. And God's going to use that for his glory. But trying to force multiplication facts into a child who's just not getting them cause tears for mom, cause tears for the child, and doesn't actually help them learn any faster. So, so you get along with Hockenberry Holler's son.
Mm-hmm.
You guys could have your own little language there. Thanks, Erica. You guys only see so much of it. And I'm not saying any of my children are not smart or not great humans, but I think sometimes people watch YouTube and forget that kids have real days. So the 2-year-old that you've seen come back and forth on here, he is acting very two right now. And you hear like the terrible twos. Virginia and I have a mutual friend that calls them the trainable twos. And so he is in a stage where he just needs some extra training right now because he has decided that he's his own little person, which he is, and that he should always have his own way. And he doesn't always get his own way. We still nurse. Um, and so that's great. I still love nursing, but when you have a 2-year-old who talks and he yells, I need milk
5 minutes.
in the middle of the polling place, and then he negotiates with me, he'll say, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, milk. Or he'll be like, left side, left side. So yeah, we're working on that. He doesn't get milk every time he asks. Peanut butter chocolate smoothies we used to make. Yes, I do like those. Um, we put frozen bananas. Like if we get bananas that are getting too ripe on the counter, we'll put them in the freezer and we use them either for smoothies or banana bread. And so these peanut butter chocolate smoothies, we do peanut butter, bananas, cocoa powder, sugar, or honey or whatever sweetener you want to use, and milk. And they're nice, thick milkshake type consistency. And so they're really good if you have a child who maybe just isn't eating as much as you want. You know, I sometimes have like toddlers who go through the stage where they're really picky and stuff. You're getting a lot of good nutrition in them in a way that they think they're drinking chocolate milk. Um, I think, okay, so Sally said, I love your children's inquisitive nature. I think homeschooling and teaching your children how to think. We do not want um our kids to be rude and talking back to us, but we do want our kids to question things. And so when we read a news article, why do we agree with this? Why is this person pushing this agenda? We talk about that type of thing a lot because everybody is writing things, reading things with a um biblical, like a biblical worldview or a non-biblical worldview. Um, and sometimes it's hard to tell because sometimes people will say the right words in part of it, and then you realize that they're actually a heretic in other things that they're saying. So we really need to question, who are we listening to? Why are we listening to them? Sometimes there's information that someone's giving us that is still good information. Like we talked about when we went to this tour of the 1756 house, and then we went on a tour of a 1811 jail in another town. We talked about things that were said or done while we were on the tours and why they were okay or not okay, or some story that was told and why that thing might have happened. But we tried to tell them from a biblical worldview. But we also want them to ask, like, if they don't understand something, why did you have me do it this way? Um, like today, Samuel and Daddy were working on the porch and they took off one board to find how the step was screwed into the porch. And it was screwed in from the opposite way than Samuel would have thought it was. And so he asked, Daddy, why did you screw it in this way? And it had to do with the like order they had built things in. But for Samuel, he would have thought, oh, I'd do it the other way. But he also wasn't there for the building project. He was too young to remember this. And there was a way that they did it. Yeah, it was like 6 or 7 years ago. So I said that Helen helped us on the front porch. When I did my last live, there was a girl named Sophie on here, and Sophie and Helen are sister-in-laws. And so it was all around that same time that we did the big meal that Sophie was telling you about. And the kids did a great job with that big meal, by the way, because it was the day after our last live. Um, yeah, thumbs up. Um, thank you for the "your family is beautiful" comment. My grandson is 2 and doing the same things. Did they talk to each other? Did they try to figure this out together? My daughter called and asked me what she should do. And I said, you have to train him, keep him on a schedule too, and understand that he's 2. Yeah, there are times that some people in our house will be complaining, like, oh, Gideon did this, blah, blah, blah. And a close friend of mine, she uses it for her kids. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, he's acting 4. Oh, yes, he is 4. So that's okay. So I now use that with my kids because sometimes you just have to remember. I actually wrote to somebody the other day and there was some things going on in the house that I was a little frustrated. And I was like, this thing happened and the kids are all acting their ages because our kids can be very mature and responsible sometimes. But sometimes Samuel's over here being silly now because I said that. But sometimes they are all acting their ages and it shows and it's okay because that's the ages they are. But they all happen to be very much acting out their age that day. Oh, hold on. Naomi's trying to get on that bed.
No, I was told to take him.
Oh, she was told to take him. Sorry, I didn't know what was going on. Um, yes, Abigail really did, thanks Rita, a fantastic job with her cooking challenge. She really likes to do those. She's asked if she can do another one. But at this stage of summertime, it's just a little too crazy in the house to do it because we just have all the gardening going on and all of that stuff. So, yeah. What are you guys doing? Like, does anyone have big summer plans coming up? I will explain our summer plans and then you guys, I'll go through what everyone else's summer plans are. Um, we, what is it? It is mid-June right now. So we have some appointments coming up and stuff like that. Samuel has his test tomorrow. Like I said, we have friends coming Thursday, friends coming Friday. Um, our anniversary is on Monday. I think it's Monday the 15th, and it'll be 24 years. And I just celebrated my 25th year high school reunion. I didn't really celebrate. I didn't do anything. But I realized the other day that it was 25 years. Mark's 34. He's old. He graduated. I was almost 19 when I graduated. He was almost 18 when he graduated. So yeah, we have that this week. Next week, so 4 of us weren't feeling the greatest. So we went to the chiropractor on Monday and he said we were all out of whack and we need to come back next Monday. We haven't seen him for a while, but we were all messed up. So we have that on Monday. We have to be here because we pay for my mom pays for a routine furnace cleaning. In Maine, because we use our furnaces so much, it is suggested that you get a furnace check every year to make sure that filters are good or whatever they do down there. I don't know. And so we have that coming up this week. Samuel and Malachi have appointments for their muscular dystrophy. We go sit in a room and all the different types of doctors come to us. So we don't have to we get to do just one appointment, but we see lots of different doctors. So that is this week. And then we have other stuff. I don't even remember what all the other stuff is. We are putting together a parade float for the 4th of July. So we have a small trailer that we are going to decorate with red, white, and blue. Our town is 3,000 people, and we can have up to 10,000 people here for the 4th of July parade. So we are doing quotes of our founding fathers that talk about the Bible and God is the creator, because our founding fathers founded this country on Christian principles, and we would like to remind people of that in the parade. Last year we did the parade and we handed out tracts, but so tracts are like gospel messages for people. And is everything good? Okay. Gospel messages, and we were handing them out along the parade route, but it's hard because when you're in a parade, sometimes the people in the float in front of you kind of meander back and the people behind you sometimes meander forward. And so we felt like people were sometimes taking the tracks thinking we were from a different float, thinking they wanted the thing that the other person had, and we don't want to waste our resources. Okay, God's The gospel is never wasted, but we don't want to hand out resources that people are just going to throw on the ground because they don't want them. So we are going to be handing out those tracts, gospel messages later in the day when people come for fireworks because we can actually talk to them. Where on a parade route, you can't do that. So we'll just ride in the parade. Later that night for the 4th of July, we hand out glow sticks and gospel tracts and talk to people as they walk into the parade. Um, what else is going on? Oh, middle of July, we are going to a family camp. My mom is staying here at the house, but we are going to a family camp that is about, it's called Camp Constitution. It's in New Hampshire, and it's about like learning about the founding of our nation, government, that type of thing, under God. And so that's really exciting. We have not gone to a family camp, and I actually was talking to Mark about possibly going to a family camp when we were at homeschool conference, and we actually met the person who's running this camp at the homeschool conference. So that was pretty cool. So we're going to be doing that, which will be different and interesting for the family because we've never done that before. And then we have friends coming sometime the end of this month to the start of next month. We have some people that came from Florida to visit our church last year, and we got to spend some time with them. They've got multiple kids. They homeschool also, so we're going to have them over some. And I'm sure I'm missing other things. We have friends from Kentucky that are hoping to come up. Just lots of different stuff. And anybody else who wants to come. Okay, so I'm going back a little bit. So, okay. Busy boxes for my 3-year-old because if she isn't busy, she decides chaos is the way to go. Oh, definitely. Yeah, we have a lot of times where I will send one person to work with the little one while I'm doing stuff with the other ones. It's not like set times. We don't do like a managers of your homes where like everyone has a set time of here's your time. It's just like, hey, Abigail, you look like you're pretty done with math. Can you go play with the baby while I finish doing this? Um, or we will move work into a place where he has space to play. So like, hey, he's very good about staying where we tell him to. So if I say, hey, stay in the living room, he'll stay in the living room. Like once we usually move in here at bedtime, I'll say stay on the bed and he stays on the bed. By the way, do you guys like these cow blankets because of our channel name and everything? Virginia's husband Waylon bought these for us last time we went down there. So thank you for the happy anniversary. And Row Tribe, congratulations on your anniversary coming up so soon. Deep clean the house and get ourselves together before we start back to school in July. Oh yeah, when you went to Kentucky. Yeah, that was like a big fun thing to do. Yeah, it's always good to deep clean. It feels so nice to have that all done. Um, one thing that my family did this past week was some bookshelves were built downstairs because we have our lending library, and the person from Camp Constitution is actually donating books to the lending library when he comes to Maine in June. So we needed to build bookshelves so that we had place to put the books once they got here. So that was done last week. Along with the kitchen clean. The bookcase and the kitchen clean were all done on the same day, which I don't even know. Oh, Virginia and Wayland are going to stay with Tyler and Hannah and then go hiking on Saturday. So Virginia's Wayland Schrock, that's my daughter talking. They came with their friends Tyler and Hannah and all of the kids between those two families up to Maine last summer. Well, it was May. It wasn't summer. It was still cold. They came last year and we went to the beach and stuff in the cold. So having trouble reading the things, but my glasses are dirty, so you can comment all you want. And then they're going hiking, which they like to hike together, so that's really good. Actually, you're not hiking with them. I think you're hiking with somebody else, but you're staying with Tyler and Hannah. Huh?
Clean your glasses.
Yeah, that'd be great. He's gonna clean my glasses. I just have to get really close so I can see it because I don't have my glasses. So I'm like, whoo. Had to step away to take a phone call. Oh, please say a prayer for my aunt Monica. She fell again and broke another vertebrae. Might have surgery due to scoliosis. Oh, that's really hard. Does Aunt Monica live close to you or does she live further away? Because it's hard. It's hard either way. It's hard when you can be there to help but see the pain, and it's hard when you can't actually be there to help them. So, anyway, huh?
It should be in there.
Thank you. Yes, we'll definitely add her to our prayer list. Our church is going to be participating in a Flag Day parade. Oh, that's cool. Actually, that is something we have coming up this weekend. Our town is doing I don't know what they're calling it, but on Flag Day, they're going to have people stationed at different graves at the cemetery of service members, and somebody's going to be telling you the story of that service member that's buried there. They've never done this before, but we're going to go to see them this year just to do that. So um we do two. We did. Yeah, I've seen the managers of their homes, and I've never been super strict about it. I have friends who have had the whole like board on their wall and all the places written out and everything. And my brain does not work that way. If your brain works that way and it works for your family, that is awesome. I, as soon as I'm one step behind, I suddenly feel like I've ruined my whole day. And it's just how my brain works. So, selling property in Oregon and traveling the US next year. Oh, that's fun. What is your most like wanted place to visit? Where do you want to go most? Um and are you going to be traveling going like hotel to hotel, or are you getting like an RV, or are you taking tents? What you doing? That sounds really fun. Okay, Amanda. So I have 5 kids, 6 and under. Oh, that's a lot. That wasn't like a, oh, that's too many. That was an, oh, I needed to breathe. So I think that's great that you have 5 kids, 6 and under. I'm feeling overwhelmed and like the house is so hard to keep up. Any advice to implement a system to get it under control? Okay, so figure out the 5 top things that you need to get done every day to keep the house afloat. For every person, that might be different. But for my home, we need to do at least 1 load of laundry so that we're not drowning in laundry. We can keep up with 1 or 2 loads of laundry a day, but if we get behind, it seems like it takes forever to catch up. So 1 load of laundry a day for us. Um, keeping sinks like dishes manageable. If that means you have to go with disposables for a while, then totally do it. For us, keeping the floor clean, that's something that my husband appreciates. He doesn't care that I have the meals on the table. He would like the floor clean. So making sure that I made a priority that the floor was clean. And then um what were the other things? Make sure my bedroom isn't a disaster, because it's nice at the end of the day to have a place where I can feel like I can sit down and I'm not seeing all the chaos all the time. And then also just making sure I have an idea of what I'm going to do for meals. Meals do not have to be elaborate. Right now, we are going through a season where we are eating granola every morning for breakfast because that is what works for our family. And I actually found out that I have a container. Virginia might be surprised by this, but we can make a quadruple batch of granola, and the we eat 1 batch one morning, and the other 3 batches fit in that container, the round container that I got with the plastic lid. I have the hiccups now. Um, and so we can make it one morning and have our 4 mornings. And we eat granola 5 to 6 days because it works. And then the other thing for getting it under control is set a timer and work for 15 minutes. Do not, if you have lots of little kids in the house, do not take everything out of the closet. Open the closet and spend 15 minutes taking things out and putting them back to where they belong, or take 15 minutes to clean off the desk in the living room. Don't take everything off the desk and put it all over the floor, because then you have a mess you have to clean up. Work from the space and just spend 15 minutes taking stuff back to where it goes. And depending on your kids, and if they know where the things go, sometimes I can't do this with my kids because they don't know where the thing goes and it's more challenging. But like, we have a home, we just reorganized it, but we have a home for our pencils and a different place for our pens and a different place for our markers. So I can tell my 4-year-old, go put this with the markers, and they can go do that. Or maybe it's you have time to do 2 15 minutes. And so you could say, take this and put it on my bed, take this and put it on the kitchen counter, and then set another timer for 15 minutes and clean off those spots that you had them take it, because then it's going to be closer to the home that it needs to go to. But again, set a timer and only work for a short period of time. Okay, Hockenberry Holler. I'm home this summer. My husband has dementia, so porch sitting in the morning, air conditioning in the afternoon, history documentaries in the evening, and lots of prayer. Yeah, that would take a lot of prayer. We have some um, memory issue type stuff in this household, and I can understand as it gets further on, that's hard. Do you have favorite history documentaries that you like to watch? And porch sitting, do you like to do that with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea? Nervous and excited, I can understand. Yeah, Amy, it's hard being so far away. Update while I'm thinking about it, update on my brother. If you guys have been praying for him, he had a stroke. They way back April 20th, 22nd, somewhere in there. And he was intubated for a long time and then has been in rehab, and he is going home next week is the plan. So you can pray for that. He still has a long road to recovery, very long road to recovery, but they um like intense therapy is done next Tuesday is the plan. So you gonna watch the show with Daddy? They're watching a hamster eat food. So they're watching. Hi Brenda. Um so Monty said that is us, big board on the wall, but my brain does not work like that anymore. I can't do it. Thanks, Rita, praying for our channels. Yeah, Cass, Maudie is going to get there before me to 4,000, and numbers don't really matter. I know for both Maudie and I, um, we would love to see our channels grow. For me personally, I just would like my information to be shared. I do not do this like money is nice, but I don't need a certain income from my channel. I would like people to just be able to get the information. So when my viewership goes up, it means more people are hearing the information. And I know there are moms on here who have to do it to make a certain amount of money for their family. And they're really working hard and putting in lots of hours to make that amount of money. And um, that's just not how my channel runs, because I need to be able to just say, hey, I'm going to take 3 weeks off because my family needs that. But we have a lot of health issues in our family. So that's what we're doing. But I hope word's getting out there so that people can hear what God has taught me through all these years of being a mom and wife and dealing with special needs and homeschooling and all the other stuff that we do. So, okay, so you're moving into an RV. We felt the Lord call us to sell it all and go. So we don't know where, but we know He's good to lead us. Sandra Brink fam, I feel like I should know how many kids you have, but I don't. And about the RV.
Used to live in an RV.
Yeah, we lived in an RV. So when Samuel was a baby, before Samuel was a baby, before Samuel was around, we lived in an RV for a year and a half.
About 2 years, and then we're in Key West.
So we lived there we lived in an RV for a while, and then we lived in other places, and then we had an RV again, and we spent multiple weeks, 2 months every winter in an RV in Tennessee or Florida. So we have a lot of experience in an RV, and RVs are great if you go places that are warm enough to get out of your RV. Or like if you went to some place that was really hot, but you were able to get out to go to places that had air conditioning, that would work too. Maine is so cold that it's just not reasonable to live with a family in an RV in the winter. Not that someone couldn't do it if they had to, but I wouldn't do it if I had a choice, because Maine is so cold. It's hard to get out in the winter. Even in our big house, it can feel like we've been inside too much. So living in an RV,
Yeah, it would be different.
yeah, if you had a motorhome, it would probably be different. But yeah, it was hard to keep it warm enough. But we also, I mean, if we upgraded and had a better RV, maybe that would have been different. There were also a lot of us living in it. If we just had a couple kids, but when we started traveling in it, we had 3 kids, and well, 3 on the outside, and I was 6 months pregnant with another one. So it definitely um, was easier when we had the younger, smaller children. So thanks, Hopkins. Let me know if there's other things that you have questions about, because God has given me a gamut of experiences to share advice from. How do I teach writing? I have kiddos who really despise writing. They know grammar great, but putting everything on paper is hard for them. Okay, so the thought is, what exactly are your kids going to need to write in the future? Because my children, I would not say are know grammar very well. My kids know how to put together an argument, but wouldn't necessarily put it on paper, because we don't do a lot of writing. We do a lot of oral. Um, but if your child is meant to go into writing, um, they'll figure out how to do that, because Virginia never had a English class like you would think of in a public school. We did English every year. It is required in our state. We did English. She learned English terms, all of that stuff. But it would not be the same type of English you would see when I was in public school. We did a lot of here, this sentence is written the wrong way. Fix it by writing the whole sentence again to add a period instead of the question mark or something. We did a whole lot of handwriting in English class. My kids did not sit down and write like that. And after Virginia graduated, she wrote 3 books. So if God has that for them, he's going to show you a way to prepare them for that or for them to be prepared, because Virginia was able to write in such a way that people understand her and is very relatable. Her characters are very relatable, and she did not have full on English class. She did, as she got older, take a book writing. What was the name of that?
Creating an eternal story.
Creating an Eternal Story by Pat Roy. I think that's what it is. If Virginia's still on here, she can correct me. But it was about how to write a book that would have a gospel storyline type thing. And it helped you like develop your characters and stuff like that. But she did that maybe her senior year, maybe after she graduated. Um, Okay, you have 5. We've lived in a tiny home up until we bought this property 2 years ago. We love tiny living. Well, I think you're going to do great, Sanderbrink fam. If you ever get up to Maine, let us know. Maine's beautiful. Just June, July, and August. September would even be good, but I would not suggest coming in like December or January. How's Josiah's arm doing? Yeah, if you really like the cold, come to me in the winter. Um, Josiah's arm is doing well. We went for a follow-up visit and they told us we could take his brace off, but there will be times that we will wear the brace just as extra protection. If you've been around for a while, you know that crawling and creeping is part of the therapy he does. We don't do that as much in the summer because we are outside a lot, but the doctor has given us approval to start that again. We have not started it since we saw the doctor, but he said that if it hurt, give it another 2 weeks and then try it again. But yeah, he's back to all his normal stuff. And I guess he complained about pain once yesterday, but other than that, he didn't. He was in the middle of doing something and complained about pain, but that was the only time he's complained. So um Sanderbrink fam. There's a ton of families we are staying with along the way. Lots of large family friends who enjoy hosting. Cold, hot weather is difficult. Yes. Well, I'm glad that you have so many people to stay with. That's what we do. Is we stayed with people all over the country. When we were living in a camper, we were actually working with churches, and so a lot of times we would stay either in the church parking lot or on the property of someone who went to the church, and we met some great people that way. It's a nice way to travel, and you get to really know people. So I hope you guys have a great time. Some of our favorite friends to stay with are in Florida. We've stayed in their backyard many times. Um,
In Kentucky.
and Kentucky, we lived there for a while. So we had some really great friends that we stayed with there. That was like a long-term stay. We did it twice, but that was like a long-term stay. The friends in Florida were like 3 weeks at a time, multiple years.
Yes.
And we've even stayed in their house. There was one time we were RVing in their backyard and there were tornado warnings. So we went to the house. And then there was another night that it was cold and we had to go help them cover all their mango trees.
Yep.
So, um, Amy, writing ideas. Writing prompt each day. They rate however many words or sentences about the daily prompt, such as favorite vacation, what you want for supper, one day caterpillar. Okay, so if you're asking just ways that I get my kids writing, not necessarily like writing programs, some ways that we do it is we will have a story. I will tell them a story to write where they have to talk about one thing in each sentence. So I'll say, like, in the first sentence, you need to talk about the weather. So their sentence could be, it was really cold and snowy, or it was the middle of the winter in Alaska. Depending, I do this like I'll have all the kids sit down with a piece of paper. So of course I have a 4-year-old who's drawing a picture of it up to a 16-year-old, name is not in school anymore, doing it. So the stories come out all different. So it'll be first sentence, talk about the weather. Second sentence, introduce an animal to your story. So, it was, winter in the middle of Alaska. Bob the polar bear was going on a walk. So then the third sentence, I would say, make your character eat something or get food. So while Bob was walking, he found the biggest blueberry bush that he has ever found and gathered blueberries to take home. And then the next sentence I might say, have another character come into the story. Well, while Bob was walking home, Larry, the hunter, with his guns, spotted him. And then the last sentence would be, um, have your animal get home or whatever. And so Bob invited Larry to come eat blueberries with him back in his igloo. So we would write stories like that. That's one way I get the kids writing. Also, with the not writing but story making, we have been playing this game that the kids really like, where we start a story and the first person has to start their sentence with an A, the next person has to start their sentence with a B, but you can do more than one sentence, so it's not as confining, because sometimes you're like, but I have more than one sentence to say. So it's just the next person has to start with the next letter. So we had this one story that every animal that they could think of was named. So I had to then make the next story, okay, you can't name an animal. And we do make exceptions for X. So you can have extreme, exquisite, or whatever for your first word. But it might start with Albert was walking to school one day, but he missed, he missed the bus is why he was walking to school, that type of thing. Um, so we make up stories like that, and so that's really good with your storytelling, not necessarily your writing. And then we also have a game. It's an old game that I found. It's like flashcards with pictures on them that I found. I'm gonna have to go in just a second. Flashcards with pictures on them that will lay out all the pictures on the table, and I'll have the kids pick up cards. Maybe I'll tell them different ways to pick up cards, like pick up a card that's a food, pick up a card that's a whatever. And then we have to tell a story using our cards. Everything on our cards have to be part of the story. We do a lot of storytelling in the house, not a lot of writing. So thank you, Amy. I don't know how to tag people in the comments. Thank you, Sarah. I just want them to be confident when they write and not worry about it being written wrong. Yes, I understand that too. Also, if your kids like to read, they learn a lot from just the reading, the mechanics of reading. They learn how things are supposed to look. I have a grumpy baby, so I got to get going. But thank you guys for joining me on this live tonight. It was really, really fun. Maudie and I will be doing a live, Castleberry Branch. We will be doing a live soon. She's going to be at 4,000 members really soon, and I will get there. Maybe we'll even do a live before I totally get to the 4,000. I was just hoping that we could encourage people to look at both of our channels. But it was fun to have you guys around tonight. It was fun to get to know you guys a little bit better. And we will do this again. We will also do one at some point for our friends across the pond, but I don't know when that's going to be. Thank you guys for sharing your writing ideas too, because that is helpful for other people. And maybe in the comments when this video goes on my YouTube page, people can also write comments of things that they do for writing. We'll see you guys next time on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God.